The all-hands meeting. 300 faces on the screen. I'm presenting our quarterly financials when Tyler Brennan, the founder's son and newly appointed CEO, clicks his mouse. My audio cuts dead. His voice fills the silence. Shut up and be grateful for this position. Nobody wants to hear your boring numbers. Laughter ripples through the virtual crowd. My face burns. But then I remember the document I found last Tuesday, the escrow clause his father never told him about. I reach for my phone with steady hands. I sit frozen at my desk. Audio still muted. Watching Tyler smirk on the screen like he just won something. My finger hovers over the unmute button, but I don't press it. What's the point? He'll just cut me off again. Instead, I watch the meeting continue without me, like I was never there at all. 300 employees stare at their screens, most looking uncomfortable, some glancing away. But nobody says anything. Nobody defends me. Tyler continues talking about his vision for the company, his voice dripping with confidence that comes from never having to earn anything. My mind races back 8 years. I joined Brennan Technologies as employee number 12, fresh out of my MBA program. Excited to be part of something revolutionary. The company founder, Douglas Brennan, was a genius who'd developed data encryption software that made everything else on the market look like a child's toy. Government contracts, Fortune 500 clients, annual revenue that eventually hit $270 million. I started as a junior accountant, working 16-hour days, learning every aspect of the business. Douglas saw something in me. He promoted me to senior accountant after a year, controller after 3, CFO after 6. He treated me like the daughter he always wanted. Trusted me with everything. The company wasn't just a job. It was my life, my purpose, my family. I built the financial infrastructure from scratch. Negotiated vendor contracts that saved millions. Implemented systems that caught fraud before it happened. Douglas would pull me into his office late at night, share his dreams about where we'd take the company, ask my opinion on strategy decisions. He valued my input, respected my expertise. Those were the golden years. Then Tyler showed up 6 months ago. Douglas's health had been declining for 2 years. Early onset Parkinson's disease, hitting him in his late 50s. The tremors started first, then the cognitive issues. The fatigue that left him unable to work full days. Doctors gave him 2 years, maybe less. He needed succession planning, needed someone to take over. Tyler was the obvious choice. His only child, 34 years old with a Stanford MBA, and experience at 3 startups. The fact that all 3 startups failed didn't seem to matter to Douglas. Blood was thicker than business sense. I tried to be welcoming when Tyler arrived as Chief Operating Officer. I gave him tours of our systems, walked him through our financials, explained our growth strategy. He barely looked at me during those meetings. He'd check his phone, interrupt with comments about how his Stanford professors would handle things differently. Call our methods old-fashioned. Dad's generation doesn't understand scaling, he told me during one particularly tense session. You're stuck in the past. 3 months ago, everything changed. Board meeting. On a Tuesday morning, Douglas announced Tyler would become CEO. Effective immediately. Douglas would remain chairman, but step back from daily operations. I felt like someone punched me in the stomach, but I kept my face neutral. After the meeting, Douglas pulled me aside in the hallway. He looked exhausted, his hands shaking worse than usual. Keep the company safe, Laverne, he said, gripping my arm with surprising strength. Tyler's smart but impulsive. You're the steady hand. Promise me you'll protect what we built. I promised. I meant it. Tyler's first week as CEO, he brought in 4 of his Stanford friends for what he called executive advisory roles. None of them had relevant experience, but suddenly they were in every meeting, weighing in on decisions they didn't understand. He started undermining me publicly. Small digs at first about conservative accounting practices, suggestions that I was holding the company back from aggressive growth. I brushed it off as transition friction. New leadership finding its footing, but it escalated. Last week, Tyler burst into my office at 11 at night. I was working late on quarterly projections. He was drunk, could barely stand straight, reeking of whiskey. "You think you're so important," he slurred, leaning against my doorframe. "You're just a calculator with a title. My dad felt sorry for you. That's the only reason you're here." I stood up, keeping my voice calm and professional. "Tyler, you should go home. We can talk tomorrow when you're sober." He laughed, stumbled forward, knocked a stack of papers off my desk. They scattered across the floor. He left without another word, weaving down the hallway. After his footsteps faded, I knelt to gather the papers. Mixed in with my documents was a folder I'd never seen before. Must have fallen from his briefcase when he stumbled. Inside were documents from Douglas's attorney, Robert Finch. Merger discussions with a major tech conglomerate. Tyler was trying to sell the company. Douglas didn't know. The board didn't know. Just Tyler working in secret. But there was something else. Buried in the legalese was a reference to an escrow clause in the original corporate structure. Something about founder shares and acquisition terms. I didn't understand all of it, but it looked important. I took photos of everything with my phone, returned the folder to Tyler's office before he noticed it was missing. Now, sitting at my desk with my audio muted, watching Tyler hold court on the screen, I think about those documents. The escrow clause. What did it mean? How could I use it? The meeting ends. Tyler's face fills the screen one last time. "Great work, everyone. Let's keep pushing forward." The screen goes dark. My phone buzzes immediately. Text from Tyler. "My office. Now." I stand up, smooth my skirt, take a deep breath. I know what's coming. This isn't just about ego or power struggles. This is war, and I need to be ready. I walk through the office toward Tyler's corner suite. The hallways are quiet. Most people work remotely now. Post-pandemic flexibility that became permanent. I pass Douglas's old office. The lights are off, furniture covered with sheets. He hasn't been here in weeks. Through the window, I see movement inside. Tyler's in there with 3 of his Stanford friends. They're laughing. I slow down, stay out of sight, listen. "Did you see her face?" one of them says. Tyler's voice. Priceless. She actually thought people respected her. More laughter. "So when are you firing her?" another voice asks. Tyler pauses. "Tomorrow. I'm terminating her tomorrow. Dad won't even know. He barely remembers what day it is anymore." My blood turns to ice. This isn't about humiliating me in a meeting. Tyler is systematically removing everyone loyal to Douglas. Everyone who might question his secret sale of the company. And I'm next on the list. I back away quietly. Return to my desk. My hands shake as I sit down. I need a plan. I need leverage. I need to understand that escrow clause. Because tomorrow might be too late. I don't go to Tyler's office. Let him wait. Let him wonder. Instead, I sit at my desk and compose an email. Professional. Measured. Factual. I describe the public humiliation at the all-hands meeting. I express concern about leadership conduct and company culture. I request a formal meeting with the board to discuss executive behavior. I read it 3 times, remove any emotion, make it bulletproof. Then I send it to all 7 board members, including Douglas. 20 minutes later, my phone rings. Gerald Hammond, the board chair, and one of Douglas's oldest friends. "Laverne, I just read your email. This is completely unacceptable behavior from Tyler. We'll address it immediately." Relief floods through me. Thank you, Gerald. I appreciate you taking this seriously. Of course. Emergency board meeting tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. We'll get this sorted out. I hang up feeling hopeful. Maybe the system will work. Maybe grown adults will see Tyler for what he is and intervene. That evening, I'm at home in my small house in the suburbs, sitting at my kitchen table with my laptop and the photos of the escrow documents. The legal language is dense, complex. Something about founder shares held in trust, conditions for release, veto power over acquisitions. If Douglas is deemed incapacitated and an acquisition occurs within 18 months, a special escrow unlocks. The escrow gives veto power to specific stakeholders. I search through the documents, find the list of names. 4 people. Douglas himself, me, Diana Foster, Marcus Washington, and Priya Sullivan. All early employees, all people who built this company from nothing. Douglas built in a protection mechanism, a way to stop hostile takeovers, even from within. But the language is so technical, I can't fully understand the implications. I need a lawyer. I need Douglas's attorney, Robert Finch. The next morning, I arrive at headquarters 30 minutes early. The building is mostly empty, just security and a few early birds. I walk to the conference room with my notes, my evidence, my hope that justice still exists. All 7 board members are present, seated around the long table. Tyler sits at the head, smiling at me like we're old friends. My stomach drops. Gerald Hammond doesn't look sympathetic anymore. His face is neutral, professional, distant. Tyler speaks first. Thank you for coming, Laverne. We need to discuss your email. He slides a document across the table. A thick folder. We've compiled a dossier of your performance issues over the past 6 months. I pick it up, flip through pages of accusations, missing deadlines, accounting errors, undermining his leadership, insubordination. Every single item is fabricated, but he has documentation. Performance reviews I've never seen, written overnight. Email chains that look real, but I never sent. Memos about mistakes I never made. This is false, I say, keeping my voice steady. All of it. I pull out my own documents. 8 years of stellar performance reviews. Perfect audit results. Commendations from Douglas. I spread them on the table. This is my actual record. Tyler leans back in his chair. My father wasn't well when he wrote those. He didn't see your mistakes because his judgment was compromised. 3 board members nod. I don't recognize them. They're new, appointed by Tyler in the last 2 months. They look at me like I'm already guilty. Only 2 board members look uncomfortable. Gerald and Martha Reeves, a 73-year-old woman who's been on the board since the company started. Tyler drops his next bomb. We've also discovered financial irregularities. Money missing from a client escrow account. The room goes silent. This is insane. That's impossible, I say. Audit the accounts. Everything will be clean. We already are, Tyler says smoothly. External auditors start Monday. Until then, we need to take precautions. He calls for a vote. Should I be suspended pending investigation? 4 hands go up immediately. Tyler's puppets, voting as instructed. 2 hands stay down. Gerald and Martha, faces grim. Douglas isn't on the video screen. Technical difficulties, they claim. I'm suspended. Effective immediately. Must surrender my laptop, my access credentials, my keys. Security will escort me out. The walk through the office is the longest of my life. A security guard at my elbow. People staring as I pack my personal items into a cardboard box. 8 years in this building. 8 years of 60-hour weeks, of sacrificed weekends, of pouring my soul into this company. reduced to a box of picture frames and coffee mugs. As we pass Douglas's old office, I glance inside. Tyler's on his phone, door slightly open. I slow down, strain to hear. Dad won't fight it, Tyler says. Doctors say he's declining faster. Another month, he'll be officially incapacitated. Then we execute the sale. A voice on the other end, too quiet for me to make out words. Tyler laughs. They don't know about the escrow clause. Dad never told anyone but his lawyer. And I've already taken care of that problem. My heart stops. Tyler knows about the escrow, and he thinks he's neutralized it. But he doesn't know I know. He doesn't know I have photos of those documents. The security guard touches my elbow. Ma'am, we need to keep moving. I walk out into the parking lot, put my box in my car, sit in the driver's seat with shaking hands. This is bigger than I thought, more dangerous than I imagined. Tyler isn't just firing me. He's orchestrating something massive, something that will destroy everything Douglas built, and I might be the only person who can stop him. That afternoon, I sit at my kitchen table, surrounded by the contents of my box from work. The suspension letter arrived in my email within an hour. Formal, legal, terrifying. Accused of embezzlement, pending investigation, all assets and credentials frozen. I'm not allowed to contact anyone at the company. Violation will result in immediate termination and legal action. I pull up the photos of the escrow documents on my phone. I need help. I need someone who understands corporate law. Someone who knew Douglas's original intentions. I need Robert Finch. I call his law firm. A receptionist answers. Cheerful and professional. Finch and Associates. How may I help you? Robert Finch, please. This is Laverne from Brennan Technologies. A pause. I'm sorry, Mr. Finch is no longer with the firm. What? Since when? He retired 3 weeks ago. Very sudden, actually. His cases have been transferred to Mark Sutherland. Would you like me to connect you? 3 weeks ago. Right when Tyler became CEO. The timing can't be coincidental. Yes. Please. The hold music plays for 30 seconds, then a young male voice answers. Smooth, confident, friendly. Mark Sutherland. How can I help you? I choose my words carefully. I'm calling about Brennan Technologies. I need information about some corporate structure documents. Specifically, an escrow clause. Ah, yes. I've taken over all the Brennan matters. But I'm not familiar with any escrow clause. Must be from before my time. Those old corporate structures often have outdated provisions that aren't really relevant anymore. He sounds dismissive, almost condescending. It's in the original incorporation documents. Douglas Brennan's attorney set it up 8 years ago. Right. Well, Robert handled things differently than I do. More old school. I'm sure if there's anything important, it would have been flagged during my transition. But I don't see anything in my files. He's lying. I can hear it in his voice, the way he's too quick to brush me off. Can you check again? It's extremely important. Look, miss. I'm very busy. If you have specific questions about active corporate matters, send me an email and I'll review it when I have time. But these old escrow clauses are typically unenforceable anyway. I wouldn't worry about it. He hangs up before I can respond. I sit staring at my phone. Tyler got to him. Or hired him specifically. Either way, Douglas's attorney is gone, and his replacement is working for Tyler. I try calling Douglas's cell phone, straight to voicemail. His home number. A woman answers. Voice I don't recognize. Brennan residence. Hi, this is Laverne. I need to speak with Douglas. It's urgent. Mr. Brennan isn't taking calls. Doctor's orders. He needs rest. I understand, but I'm his CFO. It's important company business. Not anymore. According to my information. Mr. Brennan left instructions not to be disturbed by former employees. Please don't call again. The line goes dead. Former employees. Tyler's already rewriting history. And he's completely isolated Douglas. New nurse. Screened calls. No access. Douglas is a prisoner in his own home and probably doesn't even realize it. I find Robert Finch's home number through an online directory. His wife answers. Hello? Mrs. Finch. This is Laverne from Brennan Technologies. I need to speak with Robert. It's extremely urgent. Long pause. Robert can't come to the phone. Please, it's about Douglas Brennan. It's a legal emergency. Another pause. Whispered conversation in the background. Then, Robert's voice. Strained and quiet. Laverne, I can't talk to you. Robert, please. The escrow clause. I need to understand it. Tyler is trying to sell the company, and I think you know what he's doing. His voice drops to barely a whisper. They threatened my pension. 30 years of retirement savings. I have grandchildren, college funds. I'm sorry, Laverne. I can't help you. The line goes dead. I spend the rest of the day researching Mark Sutherland online. Stanford Law, graduated the same year as Tyler. Same fraternity. The connection is right there in their LinkedIn profiles. I dig deeper, find business filings. Mark's firm is only 2 years old. One of the early investors was a shell company. I traced the shell company through public records, Secretary of State filings, registered agent information. It leads back to Tyler's personal holdings. Tyler literally bought his own lawyer. The next day is Friday. An email arrives from Human Resources. Formal suspension letter. Terms of the embezzlement investigation. Requirements for my cooperation. Another email from the external auditors. They'll begin their investigation Monday morning. I must be available for questioning. Criminal charges are possible. My professional reputation is being systematically destroyed. I try reaching the other escrow clause holders. Diana Foster, Vice President of Engineering, Marcus Washington, Director of Sales, Priya Sullivan, Head of Product, all early employees, all named in the documents. Diana answers on the first ring. Laverne, thank God. They suspended me too. Yesterday, Tyler claimed I was leaking proprietary code to competitors. It's completely false. I've given 8 years to this company, and now I'm accused of corporate espionage. Diana, we need to fight back. There's an escrow clause in the original corporate documents. We have rights. Protections Douglas built in. What kind of protections? I'm still figuring it out. But we're stakeholders. We can block acquisitions. We can protect the company. But I need all of us together. Diana sounds exhausted. I don't know if I have any fight left, Laverne. They took everything. My reputation, my access, my team. What chance do we have? We have the truth. That has to count for something. She promises to think about it. Marcus doesn't answer. I leave a voicemail, then get a text. Can't talk. Signed NDA. Sorry. Priya answers but sounds distant. Laverne, I'm out. They paid me off. Severance with confidentiality clause. $1 million to walk away and never speak about the company again. My lawyer said, take it. So I did. Priya, that money might be illegal. If Tyler's embezzling, everything he's doing is fraudulent. That's not my problem anymore. Take my advice. Take whatever they offer and disappear. Fighting them will only destroy you. She hangs up. I spend the weekend reading every corporate law document I can find online. The escrow clause is real. It's enforceable. But only if all 4 stakeholders agree to activate it. And Tyler is systematically removing them from the company, paying them off, silencing them with NDAs. Once they're gone, the clause becomes void. He's not just firing us, he's killing our only protection. Sunday evening. My doorbell rings. I look through the peephole, see a man in a suit holding a manila envelope. Process server. My hands shake as I open the door. Laverne? He asks. I nod. He hands me the envelope. You've been served. I close the door, rip open the envelope. Legal documents. Thick and official. Tyler and Brennan Technologies are suing me. Claims: embezzlement, breach of fiduciary duty, corporate espionage, seeking damages of $15 million. Also included, a temporary restraining order. I cannot contact Douglas. Any board members or any current employees cannot come within 500 feet of company headquarters. Violation means immediate arrest. I sink to the floor, back against the door. Papers scattered around me. This isn't just about my job anymore. Tyler is trying to destroy my entire life. Criminal charges, civil liability, bankruptcy, prison. And the restraining order means I can't even warn Douglas about what his son is doing. I'm trapped. Completely, utterly trapped. Monday morning, I meet with Sandra Wright, my personal attorney who usually handles simple things like my will and house closing. She's a solo practitioner in her 50s, kind and competent but completely out of her depth with corporate litigation. She reads through the lawsuit, her face growing grimmer with each page. Laverne, this is very serious. They have bank records showing wire transfers to offshore accounts in your name. Cayman Islands. $3.2 million over 18 months. That's impossible. I never opened any offshore accounts. I don't even have a passport. Sandra shows me the documents. Account statements, transfer authorizations with my digital signature, email chains discussing the transfers. It all looks real. Professional, detailed, convincing. Someone forged these, I say. Tyler has the resources, the motivation, the access to our systems. Sandra nods slowly. Proving that will be difficult. These are sophisticated forgeries. You'll need a forensic accountant, a digital forensics expert, a top criminal defense attorney. She names numbers. $500 per hour for the criminal attorney. $50,000 retainer just to start. Expert witnesses, investigators, court costs, easily $200,000 total. My savings account has $70,000. 8 years of careful saving, living below my means, planning for the future. This lawsuit will bankrupt me in weeks. There's more, Sandra says quietly. Based on this evidence, the district attorney will likely file criminal charges. Wire fraud, money laundering, embezzlement, federal crimes. You could be looking at 20 years in prison. Prison. The word hangs in the air like a death sentence. The external auditors arrive at my house that afternoon. 2 men in dark suits, carrying briefcases and hostile attitudes. They set up at my kitchen table like they're conducting an interrogation. Miss, let's start with these offshore accounts, the lead auditor says, sliding papers across the table. When did you open them? I didn't open them. Someone used my identity. He smirks. That's what they all say. We've seen this pattern before. Employee with financial access, lifestyle beyond their means, offshore accounts to hide the money. My lifestyle isn't beyond my means. I live in a 1,200 square foot house and drive a 7-year-old car. The evidence suggests otherwise. They ask hostile questions for 2 hours. Where did the money go? Who helped me? Am I willing to cooperate with prosecutors? Every question assumes my guilt. I answer honestly, consistently, but they clearly don't believe me. After they leave, I call the FBI. If Tyler's committing fraud, if he's framing me, federal authorities need to know. I reach the white-collar crime division, explain the situation to an agent who sounds interested. He asks me to send all my documentation. I email everything: the photos of the escrow documents, the timeline of Tyler's actions, my evidence of being framed. We'll review this and be in touch, he says. 3 days pass. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No response. I call back Friday afternoon. A different agent answers. I'm calling about a report I filed. Case involving Brennan Technologies. He types on his computer. I don't see anything under that name. I submitted it Monday. Spoke with Agent Richards. More typing. There's no Agent Richards in this office. And no case file for Brennan Technologies. Are you sure you called the right number? My blood runs cold. Yes, I'm sure. Sorry. Can't help you. My report disappeared. Someone buried it. Tyler has connections I don't know about. Influence that reaches into federal law enforcement. That afternoon, my credit card declines at the grocery store. The cashier looks embarrassed. Do you have another card? I try my debit card. Also declined. I check my phone. Email from my bank. My accounts have been frozen by court order. All assets pending judgment in the civil lawsuit. I have $217 cash in my wallet. That's everything I own now. I call my parents in Arizona, where they retired 3 years ago. My mother answers. Sounds happy until she hears my voice. Sweetheart, what's wrong? I try to explain without worrying them. Lost my job, some legal complications, temporary setback. But my voice breaks. I can't hide it. My father gets on the line. How much do you need? No, Dad. I can't take your money. We have about $10,000 in emergency savings. It's yours. They're on a fixed income. Social Security and a small pension. That $10,000 is their safety net. I'll figure this out. Please don't worry. But they're already worried. I hear it in their voices. Their daughter, who they're so proud of, falling apart. After we hang up, I look at my phone. Missed call from my best friend Jennifer, who I've known since college. I call her back. I saw the news, she says without preamble. News? I search online. Local business journal has a story. Tech CFO accused of multi-million-dollar embezzlement. My photo, my name, the allegations presented as facts. The comment section is brutal. Strangers calling me a thief, a criminal, a disgrace. Jen, it's not true. I'm being framed. Long pause. Look, my husband works in finance. I can't be associated with this. People will think I knew, that I was involved somehow. I'm sorry, but don't call me again. She hangs up. One by one, my friends disappear. Text messages go unanswered. Social media connections blocked. Professional colleagues who I thought respected me suddenly don't know my name. Social death happens faster than I imagined possible. Saturday night, I'm alone in my house. Mortgage payment due Monday. Can't pay it. Legal bills mounting. Criminal charges looming. Everyone I trusted is gone. I sit on my kitchen floor and let myself break down completely. 8 years of hard work, destroyed in 2 weeks. My reputation, my career, my savings, my future, all gone. I look at the photos of the escrow documents on my phone through blurred tears. It's worthless. Tyler's won. He's isolated Douglas, removed the other stakeholders, framed me so thoroughly that even if I tried to activate the clause, nobody would believe me. I'm a suspected criminal with frozen assets and no credibility. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. A text message. Don't give up. Check your mailbox. A friend. I stare at the message. Is this another trap? More evidence Tyler manufactured? But something about it feels different. I walk to my front door, look through the peephole. The street is empty, quiet in the darkness. I open the door, look around carefully, then check the mailbox. Inside is an unmarked envelope. No return address, no postage. Hand delivered. I bring it inside. Lock the door. Turn on every light. My hands shake as I open it. Inside is a USB drive and a handwritten note on plain paper. The handwriting is shaky, elderly. The note says, "Tyler made a mistake. This is proof, but you need to move fast. He's planning something worse. You have 72 hours. Trust no one. R.F. R.F. Robert Finch, Douglas's attorney. The one who was threatened into silence." I plug the USB drive into my laptop, hold my breath as files load. Audio files. Dozens of them. I click the first one. Tyler's voice fills my kitchen. "Make sure the embezzlement looks real. We need her in prison, not just fired. Can't risk her talking later." Another voice, one I don't recognize. "What if she fights back?" Tyler laughs. "With what? We've taken everything. And Monday, we take the rest. Monday. 2 days from now." What's happening Monday? I keep listening, file after file. Tyler admitting to forging documents. Tyler discussing bribing the external auditors. Tyler planning to have Douglas declared legally incapacitated so he can execute the sale without approval. Hours of recordings. Meticulously documented. Everything I need to prove my innocence and expose Tyler's crimes. But the note said, "Trust no one." And I only have 72 hours. Whatever Tyler has planned for Monday, it's the end game. After that, it won't matter what evidence I have. I listen to more recordings. Tyler and someone else discussing the sale. $300 million. The acquiring company has already transferred the deposit. Papers ready to sign. They're just waiting for Douglas to be declared incompetent. Once that happens, Tyler has full authority as CEO, and the sale closes immediately. The last recording is different. Tyler talking to Martha Reeves, the board member who voted against my suspension, the one I thought might be an ally. "Aunt Martha, everything's on schedule. Monday morning, we get Dad declared incapacitated. Tuesday, the sale closes. Wednesday, we're $300 million richer." Aunt Martha. Their family. She wasn't trying to help me. She was Tyler's plant on the board the whole time, pretending to be sympathetic so she could monitor what I knew. I've been completely surrounded by enemies. Every person I thought might help me was working with Tyler. And Monday morning, it all ends. Douglas loses his company, Tyler gets rich, and I go to prison for crimes I didn't commit, unless I can stop it in the next 72 hours. Sunday morning arrives too quickly. I've been awake all night, listening to every recording on the USB drive, taking notes, forming a plan. The recordings are damning. Tyler admitting to fraud, conspiracy, elder abuse. He discusses drugging Douglas's medication to worsen his cognitive symptoms. He discusses bribing board members, fabricating evidence, destroying competitors. Hours of confessions. But I have a restraining order. I can't contact anyone at the company. Can't approach Douglas. Can't warn anyone. If I violate it, I'll be arrested, and the evidence will be seized. Tyler's lawyers will claim it was obtained illegally, throw it out of court. I need a legal way to use this information. I spend hours researching corporate law, Delaware statutes, whistleblower protections. Then I find it emergency shareholder action. As CFO, even suspended, I have legal standing to file an emergency petition with the Delaware Court of Chancery. The company is incorporated in Delaware. Like most tech companies, if I can prove immediate irreparable harm to the company and shareholders, a judge can grant an emergency injunction. The recordings prove irreparable harm. Tyler's planning to sell the company through fraud, enriching himself, while destroying shareholder value. A judge might issue a temporary restraining order against Tyler, stopping Monday's declaration of incapacity. But I need a lawyer. I spend Sunday afternoon calling every corporate attorney I can find. 15 calls. 15 rejections. This is Tyler Brennan you're accusing. He has unlimited resources. Plus, you're under investigation yourself. No lawyer will take this case. You're toxic. By evening, I'm out of options. Out of time. Out of hope. My doorbell rings at 9 p.m. I look through the peephole, see an elderly woman. Martha Reeves. The Trader Board member. My heart races. Is this another trap? I open the door with the chain still attached. What do you want? Martha looks tired, worried. May I come in? Please, it's important. Against my better judgment, I let her in. She sits at my kitchen table, looks around my small house with sad eyes. I know you don't trust me, she says. I wouldn't either. But you need to listen. I voted against your suspension because I didn't believe Tyler's accusations. I've known Douglas for 40 years. I watched him build this company. I won't let his son destroy it. You're Tyler's aunt, I say flatly. I heard the recording. She nods slowly. I'm Douglas's sister-in-law. I was married to his brother, who died 15 years ago. Tyler is my nephew, by blood. But that doesn't mean I support what he's doing. The recording from Thursday. You and Tyler discussing the sale. You called it a plan. She looks confused. What recording? I play it for her. Her face goes pale as she listens to her own voice. Aunt Martha? Everything's on schedule. But then she shakes her head. That's not me. That's not my voice. Listen, carefully. I play it again. The voice is similar to Martha's, but younger. Different cadence. Tyler's other aunt, Martha says. His mother's sister. Also named Martha. Martha Chase. She married a rich investment banker. Lives in Connecticut. She and Tyler have been planning this for months. Could it be true? Or is this another layer of deception? I can prove it, Martha says. I have a lawyer. James Hartley. Best corporate litigator in the state. He'll take your case pro bono if I ask him. We file emergency injunction tomorrow morning. Stop this before it's too late. Why should I trust you? Because I'm 73 years old and I don't have time for games. Because Douglas is like a son to me. Because I've spent my entire adult life building ethical companies, and I won't watch this one be stolen. And because, Laverne, you don't have any other choice. She's right. I don't. We call James Hartley. He arrives within an hour. A tall man in his 60s with steel gray hair and sharp eyes. He listens to the recordings, reviews the documents, nods thoughtfully. This is explosive. Tyler's going to prison. But we need to move fast. Emergency filing has to be submitted to Delaware court by 9 a.m. tomorrow. That's 12 hours from now. We work through the night. Legal documents, affidavits, evidence exhibits. James is meticulous, anticipating every counter-argument Tyler's lawyers might make. By 4 a.m., we have a complete emergency petition. James drives to Delaware at 7 a.m. 3-hour drive. Fighting traffic. He arrives at the courthouse at 9:30. Files in person. By 10:15, a judge has reviewed the emergency petition and scheduled a preliminary hearing for 2 p.m. But there's a problem. The judge can't physically stop Douglas from signing papers. If Tyler gets those incapacity documents signed before 2 p.m., the hearing won't matter. The sale will proceed and Tyler will have legal authority. Martha tries calling Douglas's house. The nurse refuses to put her through. Mr. Brennan isn't taking calls from board members. Those are his instructions. Those aren't Douglas's instructions. Those are Tyler's instructions. Enforced by a nurse on Tyler's payroll. I look at the clock. 11 a.m. Tyler scheduled a 9 a.m. meeting with Douglas to sign the incapacity papers. It might already be done. I have to go there, I say. I have to stop him. James shakes his head. You have a restraining order. You show up, you get arrested. Everything we've done becomes fruit of the poisoned tree. Inadmissible. Then what do we do? Nobody has an answer. I make a decision. I'm going to company headquarters. I'll get arrested if I have to. But I won't let Douglas sign his life away without knowing the truth. I drive to the building, arrive at 11:30. Security stops me at the front entrance. Miss? You're not allowed on premises. Through the glass doors, I see Tyler walking Douglas through the lobby. Douglas looks frail, confused, much worse than 2 weeks ago. They're heading toward the conference room. This is it. The signing is happening right now. Tyler! I shout through the glass. He turns, sees me. His face twists with rage, then settles into a cold smile. He pulls out his phone, dials. Yes, police? I need to report a restraining order violation. Brennan Technologies headquarters. Security guards hold my arms. I'm trapped outside, watching through glass as Tyler destroys everything. I pull out my phone, hit play on the recordings at full volume. Tyler's voice echoes through the parking lot. Make sure the embezzlement looks real. We need her in prison. People in the lobby stop, stare, listen. Tyler goes pale. Douglas, confused but hearing his son's voice confessing to crimes, seems to focus. Tyler? What is this? Police cars pull into the parking lot. 2 officers approach me. Ma'am, we need you to come with us. But then another car screeches into the lot. Black SUVs, multiple vehicles, FBI. Agents pour out, flash badges, move toward the building. Lead agent approaches Tyler. Tyler Brennan, you're under arrest for wire fraud, embezzlement, elder abuse, and conspiracy. Tyler's face goes white. This is insane. You can't arrest me. I'm the CEO. Not anymore, the agent says, cuffing him. I'm stunned. The FBI. But I thought my report was buried. Another agent approaches me. Miss, your initial report was buried by someone on our staff. We're investigating that separately. But we received a second report 2 weeks ago from Robert Finch. He provided documentation of ongoing corporate fraud. We've been building our case since then. Robert. He sent me the USB drive to give me a fighting chance. But he'd already gone to the FBI himself. He was working behind the scenes the whole time, but then the agent turns to Martha Reeves, who's standing next to her car. Martha Reeves, you're also under arrest. My stomach drops. What? She helped me. She's the one who got the lawyer. The agent looks at me sympathetically. Martha Reeves is Tyler Brennan's aunt. She's been part of this conspiracy from the beginning. The legal help was a setup to see what evidence you had and control your response. Martha smiles coldly as they cuff her. Nothing personal, Laverne. It's just business. Tyler and I were going to split $300 million. You really thought I'd give that up to help you? I feel like I've been punched. My only ally. The person I trusted with everything. Another enemy. James Hartley. The lawyer. I look around frantically. His car is gone. He never filed the emergency petition. It was all a trap to neutralize me. Keep me busy while Tyler finalized the sale. Douglas collapses in the lobby. Medics rush in. Chaos. Everywhere. FBI agents, police, paramedics, employees watching in shock. I stand in the parking lot, shaking. Tyler and Martha are being arrested. But did we stop it in time? Did Douglas already sign? An FBI agent approaches with an evidence bag. Inside are documents. We seized these from Tyler Brennan's briefcase. Incapacity declaration, corporate resolutions, sale agreements. all unsigned. We stopped it just in time. Relief floods through me, but it's followed by horror. I gave the recordings to James Hartley. He was working for Martha and Tyler. Does the FBI have copies? Can they even use the evidence? The agent seems to read my mind. Robert Finch provided us with copies of all recordings. We have everything we need. Your evidence is safe. Douglas is loaded into an ambulance. I try to follow, but an officer stops me. Family only. I'm his CFO. I'm the closest thing to family he has right now. The officer lets me pass. At the hospital, Douglas is stabilized. The stress caused a cardiac episode, but he'll recover. I sit in the waiting room for hours. Martha's betrayal sits in my stomach like poison. I trusted her, gave her everything, let her see all my evidence, all my plans. She was going to let me go to prison while she and Tyler split hundreds of millions of dollars. Evening comes. A doctor allows me to see Douglas briefly. He's conscious, oxygen mask on, looking older than I've ever seen him. He reaches for my hand with trembling fingers. I'm sorry, Laverne. My own son. I didn't see it. I squeeze his hand gently. You couldn't have known. The company. You have to save the company. Douglas, I'm suspended, accused of embezzlement. I can't run anything. He manages a weak smile. Emergency board resolution. I'm still chairman. I just fired Tyler for cause. You're reinstated immediately. Emergency meeting tomorrow. You're interim CEO. I can't process this. I can't. I don't know how to lead a whole company. Yes, you can. You know that company better than anyone. You built the financial foundation. You protected it when no one else would. Save what I built, Laverne. Please. Tears run down my face. I'll try. You'll succeed, he whispers. I know you will. Tuesday morning. I walk into Brennan Technologies headquarters as interim CEO. The title feels surreal, impossible. 2 weeks ago, I was escorted out in shame. Now I'm running the company. The emergency board meeting starts at 9 a.m. 4 remaining board members, with Tyler and Martha gone. 2 seats vacant. Gerald Hammond, the board chair, runs the meeting with grim efficiency. This company is in crisis, he begins. Federal investigation, stock down 42%, clients threatening to cancel contracts. We need strong leadership immediately. He nominates me for interim CEO. The vote is unanimous. Nobody mentions the embezzlement accusations. The FBI cleared me yesterday, announced I was a victim of identity theft and fraud, but the damage to my reputation lingers. My first hour as CEO, the phone rings. Our biggest client, a government defense contract worth $90 million annually, 20% of our total revenue. We're canceling, the procurement officer says. Our regulations prohibit business with companies under federal investigation. I try to explain. The investigation is into the former CEO, not the company itself. We're victims, not perpetrators. I understand, but our hands are tied. The contract is canceled effective immediately. $90 million gone. If other clients follow, the company won't survive the month. That afternoon, another crisis. The acquiring company that Tyler tried to sell to files a massive lawsuit. They claim they had a binding purchase agreement. Demand damages for breach of contract. $300 million. Our company doesn't have $300 million in cash. A judgment that size would bankrupt us. I spend Tuesday night in my new office. Douglas's old corner suite, surrounded by the wreckage of his company. Stock price falling. Clients leaving. Lawsuit pending. Employees terrified. I don't know how to fix this. I notice a framed photo on the wall. Douglas with the original founding team 8 years ago. 6 people smiling in front of the company's first office. A tiny rented space in a strip mall. I recognize everyone. Douglas, me, Diana Foster, Marcus Washington, Priya Sullivan, 2 others who left years ago. The escrow holders. I pull out my phone, look at the photos of the escrow documents I took weeks ago. I've been so focused on the acquisition blocking provision that I missed something. I read more carefully now. There's a second provision. If the company faces existential crisis due to malfeasance by executive leadership, the escrow triggers automatically. $15 million held in trust since the company's founding. Releases to named stakeholders for protection and continuation of company mission. $15 million. Not enough to survive the lawsuit, but enough to buy time, keep critical employees, retain key clients, fund legal defense, but it requires all 4 escrow holders to file a joint claim. Diana Foster, still suspended and bitter. Marcus Washington, silenced by NDAs and threats. Priya Sullivan, already took severance and left. And me, only just reinstated. I don't know if I can unite them. Don't know if they'll trust me after everything that's happened. Wednesday morning, I call Diana. Explain Tyler and Martha's arrests. The evidence of the frame-up. The FBI clearing everyone. Why should I help? She asks. The company destroyed my career. No. Tyler destroyed your career. The company is 300 people who did nothing wrong. Your engineering team, the people who worked for you for years, they'll lose their jobs if we don't save this. Long silence. I need to think about it. Marcus won't answer his phone. I drive to his house in the suburbs, ring his doorbell. He opens it, looking haunted, terrified. I can't talk to you, Marcus. Tyler's in jail. The NDAs were signed under duress. They're not enforceable. I show him news articles on my phone. FBI arrests. Fraud charges. Federal prosecutors building cases. He breaks down. They threatened my wife. Said they'd report her to immigration. Get her deported. We have 3 kids. I couldn't risk it. I didn't know his wife's immigration status was leverage. The threats came from criminals. They have no power now, and the FBI can protect you as a cooperating witness. He's uncertain, scared. I don't know. Think about it. But we need to move fast. Priya moved to Oregon with her severance money. I set up a video call. She looks relaxed, happy, free of the nightmare. I'm done with that place, Laverne. They paid me $1 million to disappear. I took it and ran. That money came from embezzled funds. Tyler stole from client accounts to pay you off. The FBI will claw it back. Her face goes pale. What? Every fraudulent transaction is being traced. But if you help us save the company, you're a cooperating victim, not a potential conspirator. It's manipulation, but it's also true. Priya could face legal trouble if prosecutors decide she knew the money was dirty. What do you need? She asks quietly. Thursday morning, all 4 of us gather in the company conference room. First time together since the crisis began. The tension is thick enough to cut. Diana speaks first. Why should we save this company? It chewed us up and spit us out. No, I say firmly. Tyler did that. Martha did that. The company is the people who work here. 300 employees who did nothing wrong. It's Douglas's legacy, the dream we all helped build 8 years ago. Marcus looks down. Priya fidgets. Diana crosses her arms. I'm not forcing anyone, I continue. But I'm filing the escrow claim. Douglas built in protections because he knew threats could come from anywhere. Even family. He trusted us to protect his life's work. I'm asking you to honor that trust. Silence stretches for a full minute. Finally, Diana nods. I'm in. Marcus takes a shaky breath. Okay, I'll do it. Priya sighs. Fine. But after this, I'm out for good. We file the joint claim with the Escrow trustee, a major national bank. They have 48 hours to review and release funds. The company continues bleeding through Thursday and Friday. 2 more clients cancel contracts. Stock hits record lows. Employees start interviewing at competitors. We're running out of time. Friday morning, my phone rings. Unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Laverne, this is James Hartley. I freeze. The fake lawyer who betrayed us. What do you want? I need to tell you something. I feel guilty about my role in this. You should. The escrow. The 15 million. It's not there. My blood turns to ice. What are you talking about? Tyler found out about it 6 months ago. He slowly drained it through shell companies and fake invoices. There's only about $70,000 left. Martha knew. That's why she wasn't worried about you finding it. He hangs up. I sit in stunned silence. The escrow was my last hope. We put everything on it. Told employees help was coming. Promised the board we could weather this storm. And it's empty. Tyler stole it months ago. Probably as soon as he became COO and got access to financial systems. The trustee will discover the theft tomorrow when they review our claim. Which means another scandal. Another investigation. More clients fleeing. The company is finished. I stare at the photo on the wall. Douglas and the founding team, young and hopeful, believing they were building something that would last. I failed them. Failed Douglas. Failed everyone. My phone rings again. Robert Finch. Laverne? I heard about the first escrow being drained. It's over, Robert. We're done. No, you're not. There's something Tyler didn't know. Something I never told anyone. I wait, not daring to hope. When Douglas set up the company, he created 2 escrows. The first one was obvious. In the corporate documents, everyone could see. The second one was buried in a separate trust, known only to me and Douglas. $50 million. I can't breathe. 50 million? Different trigger conditions. It activates if the first escrow is compromised or depleted through bad faith. And it only requires one person to claim it. The CFO. That's you. Why didn't you tell me before? I was threatened into silence. But I'm 72 years old. What are they going to do to me? I should have been brave earlier. I'm being brave now. Can we access it? I'm the trustee. It's been sitting in a blind trust for 8 years. Give me authorization, and I'll release it today. I authorize it immediately. Within 2 hours, $50 million transfers into the company operating account. Enough to survive, fight the lawsuit, rebuild trust with clients. I call an emergency board meeting. Show them the trust documents, explain the second escrow. Gerald Hammond starts laughing. Douglas, you brilliant paranoid man. Always 3 steps ahead. We vote to allocate the funds strategically. Client retention offers, employee bonuses to stop the exodus, legal defense fund, marketing to rebuild reputation. Over the next 2 weeks, the company stabilizes. The FBI formally clears me and all other employees of wrongdoing. Our biggest client reverses their cancellation after seeing new leadership and financial stability. Other clients follow. The stock begins recovering slowly. Diana is reinstated as VP of Engineering. Marcus returns as Director of Sales. Priya, true to her word, stays in Oregon, but she helps remotely for a few months to ensure smooth transition. The original team is back together. 3 months later, Tyler's trial begins. 18 federal counts: wire fraud, embezzlement, elder abuse, attempted corporate theft, identity theft. The evidence is overwhelming. He's convicted on all counts. The judge sentences him to 22 years in federal prison. Martha gets 15 years as a co-conspirator. Both are ordered to pay full restitution, which bankrupts them completely. Every asset seized, every dollar clawed back. Douglas's health improves dramatically once Tyler's medications are stopped. Doctors discover Tyler had been slowly poisoning him with incorrect drug combinations, worsening his Parkinson's symptoms. With proper treatment, Douglas regains clarity and strength. He steps down as chairman, but stays on the board, enjoying semi-retirement. 6 months after the crisis, a legitimate acquiring company approaches us. They've watched our recovery, impressed by our resilience. They offer $420 million, significantly more than Tyler's secret deal. This time, everything is transparent. Board votes openly. Employees are consulted. Douglas votes yes. "I built this company," he says at the board meeting, "but I don't need to own it forever. Time to let it grow beyond me." The acquisition goes through properly. All employees are protected with retention bonuses and job guarantees. The early team members, including me, receive significant acquisition payouts. The acquiring company asks me to stay as CEO. 3-year contract, competitive salary, equity stake. I accept. 1 year after Tyler's arrest, I visit Douglas at his home. He's healthy, enjoying retirement, spending time with old friends. We sit on his back porch with coffee, watching the sunset. "I'm sorry I brought Tyler into the company," he says quietly. "You were trying to be a good father." "I was. But you were the one who actually saved what I built. You were more my child than he ever was." I squeeze his hand, not trusting my voice. 2 years after becoming CEO, I stand in my corner office looking at the city below. Brennan Technologies is thriving. Revenue up 30%. New products launching. Employee satisfaction at all-time highs. We survived something that should have destroyed us. My desk phone buzzes. "Miss, you have a visitor. She doesn't have an appointment." "Who is it?" She says her name is Sarah Brennan. My guard goes up immediately. "Brennan, send her in." The door opens. A young woman in her mid-20s walks in, nervous but determined. She has Douglas's eyes. "Hi," she says. "I'm Tyler's younger half-sister. Different mother. He doesn't even know I exist." I gesture for her to sit, my mind racing through possibilities and threats. "I saw everything on the news," she continues. "What he did to you, to my father. I need you to know that not all of us are like him. Some of us actually want to make things right." She hands me an envelope. I open it carefully. Inside is a check for $3,200,000. That's the exact amount he embezzled and tried to frame you for. "This is my inheritance from my mother. It's not his money. It's mine. But I want you to have it, for everything he put you through." I stare at the check, speechless. "I just wanted to say thank you," Sarah says. "Thank you for stopping him. He would have destroyed our father and everything he built. You saved my father's life and legacy." She stands to leave. "Wait," I say. "What's your story? How did you find out about all this?" She smiles sadly. "Long story. My mother and Douglas had a brief relationship before he met Tyler's mother. I grew up knowing who my father was, but respecting his other family. When I saw the news about Tyler's arrest, I reached out to Douglas. We've been getting to know each other. That's good. He's a good man." "He is. And he talks about you constantly. Says you're the daughter he should have raised." My eyes fill with tears. "Would you like to get coffee sometime?" I ask. "I'd like to hear more about you." Her face lights up. "I'd love that." After she leaves, I look at the check. $3 million I never expected. I endorse it immediately to the National Whistleblower Legal Defense Fund, an organization that helps employees who report corporate fraud, providing legal support they can't afford. Help for the next person who has to stand up against powerful people, who has to risk everything to tell the truth. I walk to my office window, looking over the city. The journey from that all-hands meeting where Tyler muted me to this moment as CEO feels impossible. But it happened because I refused to stay silent, because I fought back when they tried to destroy me, because Douglas built protections he never told anyone about, trusting that the right people would find them when needed. I think about everything I learned. Trust is earned, not given. Blood doesn't make family. Loyalty does. Document everything, because truth needs proof. Stand up even when you're terrified, because sometimes the fight chooses you. And most importantly, one person speaking up, one brave choice, one quiet phone call can change everything. They tried to silence me in front of 300 people, but silence isn't submission. And when you find the courage to speak truth to power, you discover you're stronger than you ever imagined. My phone buzzes. Text from Diana. Team dinner tonight? The whole gang? I smile and text back. Absolutely. My treat. Because after you survive the fire together, you appreciate the people who stood beside you. You build a different kind of family. You never take the quiet moments for granted again. I look at the photo on my wall. The founding team, 8 years ago, young and hopeful. We've been through war since then. Lost people, gained scars, learned hard lessons, but we're still standing, still fighting, still building something worth protecting. And that, I realize, is what Douglas really gave us. Not just a company, but a mission. Prove that integrity matters, that truth wins eventually, that the right people in the right positions can overcome even the most calculated evil. Tyler sits in federal prison. 20 years left on his sentence. Martha beside him. They gambled everything on greed and lost. Meanwhile, 300 employees go home to their families every night because we didn't give up, because we found the clause they missed, the protection they didn't know existed, the courage they couldn't predict. I think about that moment in the all-hands meeting when my audio cut out. The humiliation, the rage, the fear. If someone had told me then that 2 years later I'd be CEO of a thriving company, I wouldn't have believed them. But here I am. The journey taught me that power comes in unexpected forms. Not just money or titles, but documentation, legal structures, allies you don't know you have. Douglas understood that. He built redundancies and protections because he knew the worst threats often come from inside, from people you trust. My assistant buzzes again. Miss, the SEC investigator is on line 2. Final paperwork for closing the Tyler Brennan case. I pick up the phone. Answer questions about asset recovery and restitution. The federal government seized everything Tyler and Martha had. Their houses, their cars, their investment accounts. Every penny going back to victims and defrauded stakeholders. Justice moves slowly, but it moves. After the call, I draft an email to all 300 employees. A transparency update on company health, upcoming product launches, new client contracts. I promised when I became CEO that I'd never lie to them, never hide bad news, never treat them like they couldn't handle the truth. They deserved leadership that respected them. Evening comes. I pack my briefcase, turn off my computer, look around my office one last time. Tomorrow brings new challenges. A competitor trying to poach our engineers. A potential acquisition target we're evaluating. Quarterly earnings to finalize. Normal business problems. The kind I actually trained for. I walk through the building, say goodnight to the security guard, head to my car. The parking lot is quiet. I sit in the driver's seat for a moment, looking back at the building. Our sign glows in the darkness. Brennan Technologies, still standing, still fighting, still winning. My phone buzzes one more time. Text from Douglas. Proud of you, kiddo. Your father, not my biological father, But the man who gave me a chance, taught me the business, trusted me with his legacy. The man I saved when his own blood tried to destroy him. I text back, "Proud of you too, Dad. See you Sunday for dinner? Wouldn't miss it." Family isn't about blood. It's about who stands with you when everything collapses, who believes you when everyone else calls you a liar, who builds protections for you before threats even appear. Douglas gave me all that and more. I drive home through evening traffic, thinking about the dinner tonight with Diana, Marcus, and the team. We'll laugh, tell war stories, remember how close we came to losing everything, and we'll toast to second chances, to courage, to the power of refusing to quit, because that's the real lesson. Tyler had money, connections, power, and a ruthless plan. We had integrity, documentation, and stubbornness. In the end, stubbornness won, refusing to accept injustice, refusing to let lies become truth, refusing to let powerful people crush the powerless. One person can make a difference. One phone call, one brave choice, one moment of standing up can change everything. Not because you're special or gifted or lucky, but because truth has power when you're willing to fight for it. They muted me in front of 300 people. I triggered an escrow clause they didn't know existed. And I watched their faces turn to ash as everything they stole crumbled around them. That's not revenge. That's justice. And justice, I've learned, is worth every sacrifice it demands. So here's my question for you. Have you ever been in a situation where someone tried to silence you or discredit you at work or in your personal life? How did you handle it? What would you have done differently knowing what you know now? Drop your stories in the comments below. Your experience might help someone else facing the same battle. And if this story resonated with you, if it gave you hope or courage or just a satisfying sense that good can triumph over evil, please hit that like button. Subscribe to hear more stories about ordinary people facing extraordinary challenges and finding the strength to overcome. Share this with someone who needs to hear that standing up to power is possible, that documentation saves lives, that one person really can make a difference. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for letting me share the hardest and proudest chapter of my life. I hope wherever you are, whatever you're facing, you find your own courage. You find your own voice. You discover that silence isn't safety, and speaking up isn't reckless. Be brave. Document everything. Trust your instincts. And never, ever let anyone convince you that injustice is just the way things are. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. The world needs more people willing to fight for what's right, even when the cost is everything they have, especially then.